Hi everybody, it's Julie and I'm at the gathering. I'm actually recording this and I will be adding, well, you're hearing a voiceover. You might hear Gray Kitty purring in the background. She's sitting here on my lap. I'm upstairs in the Love Shack doing a voiceover. So what I showed you there was how I had folded over my page of my book, and now I'm going to show you how I'm going to make two trifold pages that I'll be adding into my flip-flop for something different. Now you only need to add a single paper flip-flop in there, but I wanted to do something different. So you're going to see me making this one. First, we're going to fold it to the size that will fit inside our flip-flop flap. And then I'm going to come back and fold over a second piece. And on this particular one, this is that great elementary school writing paper that we have here at the gathering. And it is a little bit too big, and so you're going to see that I'm going to even add a little lip. So I'm going to fold over a lip edge, and that will actually make the paper stronger. And and that's a very good thing. So making a flip-flop. So there's the lip. I'll be gluing that down, and that will make that stronger. Usually for a flip-flop, I can take a 8.5 by 11 paper that is lined paper and fold it in half and just cut some of it off, and it fits perfect. But this time we have a horizontal page, and I wanted to use as much of it as I could, and I didn't want any scraps left over. So there you can see I have my tri-fold flip for my flip-flop. I'm going to do the old mark it and fold it. So I've marked where I want the fold to go, and now I'm lining it up and folding it down, and hopefully that will make it straight and ready to go into the flip-flop. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this page back so the part that I folded is up. We're going to make this a true flip-flop. It's literally going to flop when we pull over the flap. I'm adding the glue there onto the gutter that we've made by the two folds. We're going to take that, we're going to put it into the fold the flap down on it, and glue it down. Okay, so this is a flip-flop. And now we've got a flip in our flip-flop. So the really cool thing about a flip-flop is you've added journaling space, and the only part that's missing is where you glued it down. So literally a half an inch of space is all you lose on the whole page. So next I've decided to give you a cover up the book page idea. We're going to use a library pocket. We have a whole bunch of these at the gathering. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to glue it down. I'm not going to leave any extra pocket or anything on it. I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down and put it right over the book page, right over the words, and put it into the journal. And it's perfect. It covers up those words right there, and it is the beginning of a page of cover up the words. So I also have a library card to add in, so I'm going to go ahead and put that and save its space. Okay, so library pocket behind the flip-flop. And don't worry, we'll be back to decorate that a little more. But first we need to decorate the flap, because that is actually part of this folded page embellishment. So I'm going to use some of the sewing pattern paper, and I'm going to glue it down to the little flap here. And so that is going to work really well. The pattern tissue has like a wax finish to it, so it's stronger. So I can put the glue right onto the tissue. I'm going to come over and I want to line those lines up, and then so that I'm not wasting anything, I'm going to go ahead and pull the edge down over. Remember, there's glue on all of it, so that works out perfect. I'm going to go ahead and straighten out this other side and put it down, and then I'll glue it over to the other side as well. So just yeah, so I don't have these little tiny scraps, and we're not wasting anything. So I went over both sides, and my little flap has pattern paper on it. Okay, now I'm opening up the flap, and I have this piece of tissue that is left over from another page. And again, I'm going to go ahead and add the glue onto that, and we'll be putting that onto the paper. And you saw on that one, I actually put the glue onto the flap because the paper is going to have a little bit of an edge, and we don't want that glued this time. So there we have our flap, and we've got something going on both sides of it, and I love it. Well, remember I said that I wanted this one to be a little different, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add in another flip. Okay, so I've taken a piece of computer paper and I've glued it back on itself and folded it and made a pocket. And it fits inside. I'm going to put it inside the papers, inside of the flip-flop that I had made before. I'm going to go ahead and, just like before, I'm going to bring a little bit forward from the fold, make my mark, fold it, and now I'm going to add the glue. I'll put it back. And now I'm going to put this into the fold. The flap will come down because this is a true flip-flop, meaning that the flip-flop is put into the flap, so it literally flips and flops when you open the flap. Okay, so we've got two pieces in there, and we still have that background area that we're going to decorate in a little bit. And now we're going to go ahead and decorate the flap. So I found this little panel in one of the boxes, and I thought it was perfect. Of course, it's green, it's a leaf, and I thought it was perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to tear down the one side because I need it to go onto the flap and not be in the way of opening and closing it. Now, as I'm playing with this, all of a sudden I realize that there is an actual leaf underneath that foil. I think that is so amazing and clever. To start off with, I'm going to go ahead and close the bottom of it so that the foil doesn't come off. And I'm going to keep playing with it. I'm trying to get an idea of what I want to do with that flap, because it is going to be the flap. I had some glue there and had to get it off. So while I think about that, I'm going to flip back to this behind the flip-flop page, and we're going to go ahead and continue to finish this page. I'm going to go ahead and ink the library card on both sides and have that go in the pocket. I love it better already, but I think it needs more. So I'm going to go ahead and from this stash here at Big Mama's house, there are pressed flowers and leaves. I grabbed one of these pressed leaves. Actually, I grabbed several of them to use. I'm going to use fabric tack. I'm going to put it on the back of the leaf and then put it down onto the paper that I chose. Then I'm going to go ahead and with my fingers, I'm going to move the fabric tack around so it'll actually be on the bottom of it and on the top. I'm going to go ahead and rip the page down that I have behind the leaf and make sure that it is the right size for what I want on this paper. And I love the way this is beginning to look. So I'm going to go ahead and rip a piece off of this print that is from Susan Taylor Brown, add it to the side of my leaf on top of the paper. And I'm giving it a little more different texture and color and glue that down, and I think it's the perfect little fit there. But I'm not done. I still have words on the page, so I'm going to have to do something to that. Oh, but before we do that, I forgot. We went ahead and I used the plaid stamp from the Adorable Bunny stamp set from Tim Holtz. It has that plaid and then some dot stamps in it, and I love the way those turned out. So I'm reaching for the pattern tissue because it's one of my favorite things to use, and I'm going to go ahead and trim out a piece of paper from this pattern tissue that's going to fit up above the library pocket. It will cover up the words enough that we don't have to see them. They're not like so taking up the space. And it will also be a place that we can go ahead and write on. So I'm adding my glue to the piece, and you can see that it's ripped, but that's okay. I actually use that to my advantage when I put it in the book. I put down that bottom piece first, and then I go ahead and bring the second piece down a little bit, and it makes it so that my piece fits really well onto my page. I can put the library card in, and I love the way that turned out. And here we go. We're back at the flap, and I'm trying to decide whether to make it so you can peekaboo that leaf. I try all different kinds of things. I try rolling it from the different sides, and it's just not really interesting. Probably would have been interesting from the bottom. But the other thing I'm going to notice here in a minute is the leaf is actually starting to crumble in some places. So I decide to go ahead and just glue the paper down and not have it have a peekaboo area. So I'm gluing the panel down, and this is the door panel for the ABC Altered Book Junk Journal Challenge. And yeah, oh my gosh, look at that. That is the flip-flop. It turns out awesome. So I'm going to go to the other page. I'm sorry it's so far out of the out of frame here, but you're going to see I'm checking out to see what other things I've used in the pages right around it. And then I start looking at other pages. So I look at all those pages, but then I decide to use some tissue paper that I haven't used in the journal yet. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and rip off a triangle off of it, and we'll add that into the journal. I decide to put it up higher. That space down below is all white. It'd be a great place for journaling. And so I do decide to leave those last words that say "don't give up." And so I put the triangle up above those words, and I put it in. So So that's going to give me the beginning of my collage for that page. I'm going to I've cut off a piece of the tissue paper from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add that onto the little collage page. And there's still a couple of little pieces left that need some attention. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the other tissues that I have. Oh, the pattern tissue. And this one I'm going to put it in there at the angle, and that's going to cover up pretty much what was left and not covered. Then I'm going to have another little piece. I'm going to put that, and that's going to go down below to help me just have the words "Don't Give Up." We'll put that on there, and there is my flip-flop with a flap. And then, of course, we have that back page that is all decorated, and I'm looking for a DearJulieJulie digital, because remember, we have to add a DearJulieJulie digital, and I've found this Easter card, and I'm going to go ahead and fussy rip it. So I'm ripping around the branches that have the flowers on them, and so I will go ahead and continue to rip around this adorable, it's actually a rounded piece. And so I'm going around it and ripping that. I love how it looks. Just got to find its perfect place to sit. And so I'm going to go ahead, add the glue, and commit. We're going to put it down at the bottom of the panel. So it's kind of going to be holding the leaf. I think it's going to be fun. And we've added our DearJulieJulie digital to our flip-flop with the double flip-flops inside. And I love, love, love this. Now when I turn this over, the back of the leaf panel is very, very white. So we're going to go ahead and add some pattern tissue scraps, and we'll just put them on there. I can add them on top of each other, and it's just a great effect. They do not need to be straight. They do not need to go up to the edge or over the edge. They just need to cover up some of that white space. I may come back in and add ink to it later. I did not do that before I was finished, but yeah, so there's my little flap for my flip-flop. So I have a flip-flop with a flap. We have lots of things. We use the computer paper, the children's writing paper, the pattern tissue, the green tissue, and I needed to glue my pocket. It apparently had come undone. So, we'll fix things, get it all set, come around. There's the leaf foil, and we also have our DearJulieJulie digital. And then behind it, we have covered up the book page on the back. I'm going to call that one done. That is our book page flip-flop. Oh, I guess I'm not calling it done. I'm going to go ahead and cut the flaps so that it goes in and out a little easier, and then maybe it won't fold, because that's the hardest thing on some of these things, that they fold over. Okay, there you go. Let's take another quick look at our flip-flop. This was our letter F of our ABC Altered Book Junk Journal Challenge for April. And so these are some of the other pages that are around it. You can see I need to come back. I still need to finish the ripped page, the double tuck. There's another inside border tuck, and the inside of my Zorro flip out still needs stuff. I need a digital on those two pages. And there's my X page, still needs some work. I've been going back and forth, but I'm excited to have the flip-flop done. And I hope you'll join us. We'll be live a little bit more at Big Mama's house. So here you go. Flip-flop with a flap. This altar book is so much fun. Oh, and here's the kitty making herself at home.